Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Discover the Paranormal with All Out Paranormal. As always, Joy is with me. Tonight is going to be another fun show. My guest tonight is a good friend of mine, and it'll be funny and entertaining, just like it was last week. So, but that's what's going on tonight. And I took a poll. Somebody said that they would like me to give away some art again. So there we are. That's what you need to do in the comments. Hashtag ghosts are people too. Hi, Kathy. Here's one of them you'll get. There's the other one you'll get.
Giving away 2?
3.
3?
Uh-huh.
Really?
And.
Waiting.
There is a third one that you'll be getting as well. So, remember, in the comments, do that. There's the third one you'll get.
What? No way.
Yes.
No way.
Uh-huh.
You're giving Freddie away?
It's only a print.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, without further ado, let's bring up a paranormal genius and my friend, Nick Simons.
You had me there for a minute in the beginning. A genius.
He had you at hello, right?
Yeah, he had me at, you want something to eat?
Oh.
That was years ago.
There you go.
What's going on, Rex? Thanks for having me on. Looking
You
forward
bet.
to this.
And to let everybody know, you are the other part of Ghost Crier.
Yeah, if anybody remembers us from 2020, they have to reach in the Wayback Machine.
I remember.
I remember too.
That's all that matters.
And you were part of the 28 Days Haunted as well.
28 Days Haunted on Netflix. The show that got rave reviews that were not fun to read. we got beat up quite a bit in reviews, but I mean, when you're a global product,
that's right.
That happens. Yeah. No, I'm not being too cocky about it. I hope. No. I always tell everybody, thanks for watching. It's a dream come true that I didn't know I had. The day that we were informed that we got the job and we should be expecting plane tickets coming our way, I was actually fishing with the wife and the neighbor on vacation. We were in sunny Bellevue, Iowa, catching catfish right on the Mississippi River there, and Aaron called me and said, "Hey, these guys want to talk to us." And it was hours later, it was like, "Oh wow, is this really happening?" Pinch me. It's just amazing how quickly things can turn for good. There's not enough stories about things turning good. I mean, everybody's got stories about how fast things went downhill, and for us, it went uphill. And to this day, in my office at work, I still have my vacation form that has 30 days of vacation. We'll walk up to HR with a vacation form with a staple in it. You guys aren't going to believe this, but here's what's going on. And they're like, "Oh, wow, get out of here. Go, go, go."
Excellent. And you are the skeptic, correct?
Skeptic as in not like I don't think ghosts are real. Like
right.
I wouldn't have gotten this far. Skeptic as in like when somebody's like, I ain't kidding you. there was a spiritual force that came in here and it lit my cigarette. Like that's a cool story, but I
Yeah.
got to see it myself. Like
Right.
I'm not doubting your experience, but I want to see it myself, and that's how my skepticism is out there in the world.
When did what got you started in the paranormal?
Aaron, um, actually, it started way before Aaron. When I was growing up, my mom was dating a guy that was remodeling a home for the friend home for the friendless. So it used to be a home for the friendless, and in the 60s, the 1960s, it was turned into like a nursing home. So for those of you that don't know, a home for the friendless is like a poor farm, but in town. So they really don't have the farm or anything to work like that. It's just kind of a place for people to go, whether it be crazy people, which this place being the turn of the century home for the friendless, um, you could have had crazy people and then just regular homeless people there, or senior citizens that didn't have anybody and they could go stay there. Well, he bought it after the nursing home portion closed down and wanted to rehab it into apartments, and it's currently all done. This was back when I was 8, and now I'm going to be 39 this year. Wow. Um,
No way.
uh, so when he was working on remodeling the place, what better way to go to work than walk out your front door and you're at work? So he actually built us an apartment for all of us to stay in inside the top floor of the oldest part of the building. So there was always weird stuff that went on in there. And, being an 8-year-old boy and having a house with an elevator in it and over 65 rooms, you have some of the best sleepovers out of the whole school. And
Right.
we'd have people over and go exploring. I think one night we went spelunking down the old laundry chute in the nursing home wing, and
Now
we,
that's a given. You
Yep.
have to do that.
yeah, we gotta throw this extension cord down that chute and climb down. No. um, yeah, but on top of all that exploration that we did, there was many opportunities to be exposed to paranormal things, which at the time, I mean, you're talking 1995 ish. Um, the paranormal really wasn't out front. It was still kind of crazy to be into the paranormal, so we really didn't know what was going on. Like, we were into ghost stories and stuff like that, but we didn't know a single thing about how to capture EVP or document experiences or anything like that. It was just like, oh, did you hear that? That was weird. I hope somebody's not breaking into the building. Please let that be a specter of sorts and not a homeless person trying to come in. But
Water.
yeah, we'd see. Um, One night, my mom, my sister, and I, we were leaving to go to the grocery store, and as we were walking out of the back door, there's a corridor off to the left, and all three of us just happened to look up the corridor and saw a wheelchair down there go "Eek," and turn and face us, and it was I still my mom say just go outside. This building was so old that one winter it got really cold and we had a pipe freeze down in the basement, and we went down there, and we had to actually meet the water company down there because it was broken at a spot that they couldn't just shut off. And I remember the water guy saying, yeah, that's a lead pipe. So it was nice knowing you guys. I'm probably going to be checking out here pretty soon from lead poisoning or something.
So that's what got you into it, or it caught
Yeah.
your interest at that time, or
Yeah, that really, kind of kick started my path into being a weird person.
Well, the club.
Obsession with Halloween and horror movies, and things just kind of always snowballed from there until about 2004, when things really exploded for the ghost hunting shows and
Right.
documentaries. And I mean, at that time it was I wouldn't say 2004. Let's back up to 1999. We're gonna reach back into the Wayback Machine some more there. MTV put out a show called Fear. That show was what really got it kicked up and going, because you could sit there and be like, I could do that, no problem. And fast forward to 2004, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures is coming out, and it's like, I could do that, no problem. Then enough times of saying I could do that, no problem. My wife, she used to work with Aaron at a call center, and he was talking about starting a ghost group one day, and she's like, well, you could take Nick, he's as big as a door. And that was that was the end of 2008 into 2009, and he made me fill out a background check. And fast forward to 2021, we're on a plane going out to Connecticut to film a show.
That's I'm happy for you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
It was fun to watch, and I'm going, I know these guys personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would never fight like that with each other ever. Yeah. The very last night of investigation, it was a Friday night, and when we all got done, it was like 1:00 in the morning, and everybody left, and it was just the three of us left at the house. And Sean went to bed, and Aaron and I were just bouncing off the walls. We were just jacked, and we ended up going outside, and they had these benches around a fire pit, and we drug them way out into the middle of the backyard, and it's just wide open, and there wasn't a single cloud in the sky, and the moon was like a waxing gibbous. Ooh, that's a big word for Elmo. And so it was super dark out there, and we just threw those benches out in the middle of the open field and just laid on them, looking at the sky and just talking about everything that we've ever done together, from the first investigation all the way through filming for Netflix. And it was kind of, a tear-jerking happy ending for the two maniacs from extreme eastern Iowa and extreme western Illinois.
What an experience, and then you have no clue where you're going.
Yeah, so let's open that can of worms. So it's kind of it's a different breed of cat when you jump on a plane and all you know is you're going to Connecticut, and when you land, you're supposed to text this number and say, "Hey, we're here." It's like, I think that's what happens to people when they go to that Macamee Manor, that haunted house that like beats the hell out of people and like makes you throw up and stuff for 20 grand if you make it all the way through. But yeah, we landed in Connecticut, and I'm standing out there vaping, and I'm like, all right, I'll text the number. And then sure enough, this black van pulls up and says, "I'm over here." So we get in, and it's this little teeny tiny production assistant. She's like this big, and she's like, "Hey guys, I'm your ride." We're like, "Oh, whew." Had that been like, Rex behind the wheel, I'd be like, you know what? I ain't going to make it. Yeah. So Connecticut really only has one airport, I do believe. And that was Hartford that we flew into. And we ended up staying at a hotel that was close to the airport. And the producers came over and said, 1:00 tomorrow, we'll pick you up. Then what? We'll pick you up. Okay. So they pick us up, and it's like, "Hey, this is Sean. You guys are going to be living together for 28 days. And we're like, "Cool." And all right, put this blindfold on, turn your phones off, and hand them over. I'm like, "Yep, we're definitely dead now."
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. What a way to go. Hope you guys film our death and put it on Netflix. Tell little Johnny I give a damn. So we put the blindfolds on and we're riding around in this Suburban for like 45 minutes. And they're just, doing some interview stuff, just having us talk about what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And after about 45 minutes, they say, all right, we're here. Where? Leave your blindfolds on and get out of the Suburban. You're trying to get out of a big Suburban blindfolded. Then I'm walking down the side of the Suburban, feeling the van. And all right, 3, 2, 1, take your blindfolds off. Now, this is the big reveal. We're going to see Captain Grant's for the first time. And we've had blindfolds on for 45 minutes and we're staring straight at Captain Grant's, which is a yellow building. And just behind it is the sun off in the distance. So we pull them off and we're like, can't see. So we had to shoot that 12 times until our vision got focused back to like seeing light and sunlight. And it made for a long day. I think that was probably the only thing we filmed was staring into the sun and exploring the inside of the house that day. No, I wasn't advised on stranger danger. I'm from Clinton, Iowa. So that's like the last day of school. Oh, and by the way, don't take candy from strangers. Have a nice summer.
And don't get in suspicious black vans.
Yeah. Yeah. Netflix.
So how long have you and Aaron, how long has Ghost Crier been around?
We've been Ghost Crier since 2009. 2011, he had a pretty big life-changing experience, and that caused him to kind of reevaluate things, and he moved away to Arizona, and there was never really like a F you, we're done, or anything like that. And he just, keep it going if you can, blah, blah, blah. And so when he moved away, he kind of did his own thing down there. He's talked about it in the past about working with a professor down there on some different theories that he had on the paranormal and stuff like that. And then back on the home front, the big guy kind of held down to Ghost Crier, but I ended up joining another local group here in town, and we did hundreds of residential cases, and I really carved my teeth, or would that be the word you'd use, or got my sea legs. Cut my teeth and got my sea legs on doing residential investigations with this local group. And one of my favorite stories was who was investigating this house in the major ghetto. And one of the guys that was with us, we're standing in there, and there's a velvet painting of Jesus on the wall. I will never, ever, ever forget this moment. It was just, we were looking at it, and it was quiet, real quiet. And he looks at me and kind of smacks me in the arm. And he goes, "What is that, God or something up there?" Close. It's Jesus, but you were in the ballpark.
We'll give you points for trying.
Yeah, gold star for effort. Do you need a lifeline on that one? But yeah, did plenty of residential investigations, and that's where I really came into my own there. A lot of the things that you see me do as far as like on the show or on our YouTube videos. Yes, Kathy, you can look us up on YouTube at youtube.com/Ghost Crier videos. But a lot of the techniques that I use when we're investigating stem from my time doing those in residential investigations and other investigations that I've done in the many, many years of Nick and Aaron have just really got me to where I am today as far as an investigator / skeptic.
No, I forgot what I was going to ask you, dang it.
Briefs.
See, you read my mind.
Hmm.
I didn't have to say nothing.
There you go.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
a psychic medium. Briefs, and there's a child in the room. Childlike energy in here.
Oh, that would be me.
I do have a question for you. All that you've done, and long as you've been around, you guys got me by almost 2 years. But everything you've done and seen, have you ever thought about writing a book?
Not really, because it'd just be one giant run-on sentence with no periods, commas.
That
I
would
mean,
be interesting.
I could probably fill up a book with just all sorts of weird things that happen. And even though we've got you by 2 years, you've got us with some of the fantastic evidence that you've produced. Probably the number one thing, the number one and the number two thing, number two would have to be that hand that flops on that banister as Chambers walking by.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Cham or Chris?
No, it was Chamber. Chris was up in the attic.
Yeah, that, I mean, I'm just getting goosebumps just thinking about that. And then, of course, the picture that you took at the YMCA of that dude wearing bell bottoms. I mean, I've came up with a lot of neat audio stuff, but you've always been the king of being able to kick out some visuals, and it is to this day that hand is like permanently burnt into my memory of woo.
I've got a couple more.
Oh, if you thought that was bad, wait till you see this. Rex going across the ceiling on like a Nightmare on Elm Street. Keep recording.
There you are.
It's only going to happen once.
Yeah.
Dave still got it. I don't think I ever showed you this picture. Dave, have you got the one, the people around the fire, the campground? If you still got it, could you pop it up?
He says, "Give me a minute, damn it.
Come
I'm
on.
only one guy." He's over there on mute, just lighting you on fire. Yeah, that, or he had walked away from the computer.
Could be. Had to take a minute, maybe.
Yeah. What would be your most memorable? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Dave's giving me the finger.
Survey says.
He says
he's fingering you.
He says Rex is number one.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's how they say number one in France. Just let it go.
Yes.
Oui, monsieur.
Yeah, we.
Oh, and let everybody know.
What?
What's today?
Oh, today is John Bon Jovi's 61st birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave. That was funny.
He may be 61, but it's like he's 16.
After he brings this picture up,
He's the man of glass.
the question I was going to ask you, what is the most memorable thing that you've ever seen or happened to you in an investigation? Give that one a good once over there. And
Got it.
he's still looking.
So in 2020, there was a time in 2020 where Aaron and I kind of took a break from each other, and Aaron pursued more like an online personality, and I just kept investigating. And a friend of mine from a local town here in the Quad Cities, Zeke Sethwill, he runs a group called Afterlife Sessions, and they were always really big into making more serious style investigation videos. So I kind of changed it up because Aaron and I were always like, like poop and fart jokes on investigations. And so I decided to go more serious side of Nick. And my number one will always be what we experienced at Ashmore Estates, doing the afterlife sessions stuff. And there's no doubt about it that to date, nothing has topped Ashmore Estates. We were standing on the third floor. It was me and Zeke up there. It was the only two of us there. And if you ever get the chance to do Ashmore Estates with just two people, go for it, because it is, it's like that building knows, wait a minute, there's only two of them. I'm going to turn it up a little bit.
All the way to 11.
Yeah. No, but this building goes to 11, mate. So we're standing on the top floor at the nurse's station, and it's just him and I were, about 4 feet apart, just talking from. Oh,
soon as you're. Do you want to see it now, or wait till the story is over?
I'll finish the story real quick. It's a quickie. So we're standing there 4 feet apart, just talking, and there's a story with Ashmore Estates that the original building, a little girl died in a fire there. And Robin Terry, the guy that owns the building, he goes, "Yep, she's here. You might run into her tonight. You might not. She hates being in the dark." And we had all the lights off, and we were just talking to each other. We have 2 cameras, so we're just kind of watching each other in night vision while we're talking, using that for eye contact. And out of nowhere, we heard this little kid's voice, like a disembodied voice, and it just says, "I can't see," and it was like, what the fuck? I mean, it's on the video that we put on YouTube, so you just Google search Afterlife Sessions Ashmore Estates. You'll see that experience. We caught a shadow peeking out from around a doorway. It was the middle of October, and I'm standing up in this big great room that they have there at Ashmore. It was like a dining hall in the newer part of the building. And all of a sudden you're getting smells of lilac. You're not getting wild lilac in the middle of October, especially in Illinois, Iowa, anywhere in the Midwest, maybe
Right.
South, but all that stuff is long gone by then. And that was the first time that in 5 years of owning a REM pod, that it's went off, and I haven't been able to explain it. Any other time that hunk of junk right there has gone off, it's been like, oh, that was a walkie-talkie. You were standing too close to it or something like that. This thing is like, can you make that go off? And it go, all right, stop it. And it shut off. And it was like, oh. we don't know what to do. This isn't in the manual. What do we do? But it was
Odd.
really
Thanks for joining us.
Odd.
Yeah.
That name is odd.
He lives in the Netherlands. He's got a show on our network, and he's an awesome guy. I produce his show.
Well, how you doing? Nice to meet you. But yeah, I got touched there. We did this weird experiment where I sat with a blindfold on and no headphones. It wasn't an Estes session. It was just blindfolding my sense of vision, and I just used my ears and whatever I could feel. And I heard heels walk into the room with us, like women's heels, not like boots, but women's heels. And then all of a sudden there was a bed behind me, and these heels walk in, and all of a sudden you could hear the springs compress on the bed, and I jerk around, and it was just, the building was starting to get to us after a while. And awesome experience. Ashmore Estates, Ashmore, Illinois. Absolutely go if you have the opportunity. The original Jimmy John's is about 25 minutes down the road, so you can say you did that. 2 birds, 1 stone. Then the other direction, about 20 minutes away from Ashmore, there's a witch's grave out in the middle of this cemetery that's in the middle of nowhere. And this poor lady, they were so worried about her coming back and cursing the town that when she died, they carved her death date as February 31st onto her headstone. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to go see it for myself, and it's crazy to be there. And her headstone's this big like globe. It looks like the old Case IH logo. You remember how there was a globe with like a
Mhm.
ribbon through it? That's exactly what the
Uh-huh.
headstone looks like, but it was like a 3D globe. And is yeah, she died on February 31st. That's weird. Oh well. Hope she
And she
doesn't
probably,
come back and curse the town like she said she was gonna.
and she probably wasn't even actually a witch.
Yeah, no, it was probably just word of mouth that,
Right.
well, I mean, it's proven itself time and time again that even going all the way back to Salem, that, they killed all those poor ladies for no reason.
Right.
Exactly. Well, if Dave will bring up the picture. All right. I was working with one of my new deputies one night, and he told me about a state park not too far from my house that a young man had hung himself in the trees naked back in the 70s. I said, is it documented? And he told me, yeah. So after work, I pull in there. I find the park ranger, and I ask him about it. He goes, certainly. And he showed me the documentation. And I said, can you take me to where it's at, where it happened? And he goes, absolutely. So we go down there, and this family's having a great time around the fire. And I told him, hey, Darren,
Hi.
thanks for joining us. So I asked him, do you mind if I take some pictures? And they said, no. Woo! They were having such a great time. All I
They're
had
probably
was
hammered.
yeah, a little bit. So I took it with just my cell phone. I didn't have any IR, nothing. And of course, my rule of thumb, take 5. And I said it'd take 5 pictures. The first 2 pictures were of the family. Number 3, that figure is in the picture now. And if you look at it, he is naked. His neck is cricked to one side. And it's the exact location where back in the 70s, a kid had hung himself.
Wow.
And then picture 4 and 5, just the
Nothing.
family again. And the park ranger looks at me and he goes, F you, I'm out of here. You did not just take that picture. There's no way in hell. You can do whatever you want in the park tonight. I don't care. I don't want to be around you. That didn't happen. Scared the man stiff. And it was, and like I tell everybody, I'm blessed with what I catch, but it was just my cell phone. I didn't have, no IR or anything, and took that picture. So there's another one for you to
the king of
file
photography.
in.
He's the Hugh Hefner of paranormal photography.
That's right.
Ain't that right, Joy? Ain't that right?
Yes, he is.
And I have one other picture. Why do I feel an Indian on the picture? Oh, pair of half.
Fair half.
I'm going to bring up a picture, and I'm proud of it, and I think you are too. So, Dave, if you would.
Prom 2018. We were in the middle of dancing to who sings that song? Lady in Red.
I thought you were dancing
Oh,
to Foreigner. I thought you were dancing to Foreigner. I thought that was your song.
Then we reproduced it when we.
You want to know what love is? I think that was your guys' song.
I want you to show me.
And somebody took a picture of us here, just a couple months ago.
December,
That's my man. But we switched places, but I don't know who took the picture because I never got it.
It's forever gone. Somebody's got it in their own private spank bank right now. And
I'm pretty sure the Playboy Mansion is haunted. That would be one hell of a time.
Probably.
Absolutely. That'd be a great place to go.
It actually is haunted. Bridget Marquardt. She was part of the Girls Next Door. It was Holly,
Mhm.
Bridget, and the other
Yeah.
one. She has her own paranormal podcast, and she's kind of hinted towards it. I haven't listened in a while. I've been kind of busy, but maybe she did do an episode on the hauntings at the Playboy Mansion. But she's hinted towards it in the past that it's haunted. That like her and Holly used to go and investigate, and it'd be pretty awesome to be able to investigate there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why is everything sticky?
Oh, man. I told you, everybody, it was going to be just as much fun as last week. And you get to learn about the paranormal along the way.
Yeah. We'll try our best. All right, we're going to teach about the paranormal. There's a Ouija board right there. Anyways, back to the Playboy Mansion.
Do you remember the first investigation that we had together?
Yeah, where is that? I somewhere around here. It might be in frame in the spare bedroom, but I still have the picture that Chris took of me standing on the steps of Renwick vaping that night. I think it was Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, we were still investigating together at that time. Yep.
Yeah, it was just you and Chris and me and Aaron and Kelly, and yeah, that was another good night. I think you guys broke the bed, then Rex got attacked. Yeah.
Yes, we did in the room that I was supposed to be sleeping in.
We had like a group of like 20 people, and like 19 of them all sat on the bed with Rex, and they just went wham.
And it was an antique bed.
That's why the advice was not everybody to sit on the bed together.
Yeah.
When I went.
Yeah,
those antiquities.
Because we had just gotten done with our dead end road trip, and we went to work one day. We got up there to set up for the Paracon that was going on with you guys.
Yeah.
And we thought we were done. And Aaron goes, "Oh, no. You're our guest tonight."
Wait a minute. There's 20 people here to see you and shake hands, and you got to kiss some babies. And
it was a fun and interesting night.
Hand out them hugs.
As always.
Oh, they mustered up the courage to do it. I mean, after their paranormal road trip, I mean, you're again reaching in the Wayback Machine, and those two covered 1,000 something miles in like a weekend.
Almost 2,000 miles in 7 days, and we went to 11 different haunted locations in that amount of time.
La Haunted.
Yeah, that's French for haunted.
That's right.
Lame, yeah.
Oh, oui.
It's haunted.
Yes. It was a surreal trip. I mean,
I remember watching along online because like you guys were either posting pictures, and I don't think lives were real huge then. Don't quote me on that.
We did. We at night, wherever we stopped, we did a live for a little bit.
I was there watching.
It was one of the funnest things I've ever done, especially doing it with my son. And I don't think anybody else, especially a 2-man crew, has gotten. Did you time out due to horrible dad jokes?
Joy, take over. We're in timeout.
But yeah, we got done with all that, come back, and we thought we were just gonna go out for supper and just hang out. And no, you guys are guests at Renwick with us tonight, and we're like, okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
How old was my son, Kathy? Chris is going to turn 30 next month. So, Dad's going to turn 58 in June. So, yeah, but I look damn good for being that old. plastic surgery is a great thing.
Yep. He called him up one day and he said, "Can you make me look like Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters?" And they said, "You
Yeah.
bet."
I got a story for that too. So
He is Jason Haas, didn't you know?
I'm not sure. Thanks, Kathy. Gosh, what? I don't remember when we did that. He'd have to be in his early 20s.
That had to be like 2017 or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a long time ago.
Actually, longer than
and
that.
it was worth it. I mean, because that ended up
when you
being the
invited
12th. Yeah, it was. That would have been the 12th investigation, and well, it would have been 8 days.
Yeah. And then you got to experience the Cadillac of paranormal investigations, Renwick Mansion.
Yes, no kidding.
I mean, it's for those listening, it's just an old mansion that is extremely well heated and cooled. So, like, you can be there in the middle of summer, in the middle of winter, and it is just comfortable the whole time. Every floor is comfy.
Yep, exactly.
Even way up top.
Even way up top. I think it was that night. I stuck the flashlight in the zipper of my pants and I was like, "Hey, Chris," and I was banging it on the piano to make it look like I had a private part playing the keys, and Chris was behind me, and I think he collapsed from being unable to breathe because he was laughing so hard. Because I was sitting there like this going clang, clang, clang.
I just walked in the room when it was happening. I was laughing my ass off. Can we go back to that question from Darren? I don't know. I assume this is for you, sir. What's the best piece of data or evidence you have caught?
Probably the coolest thing that I think I've done. We was at Edinburgh one night, and it was just Aaron and I, and I played a clip of Zach Baggins talking about something when they were there filming their episode of Ghost Adventures, and I had the spirit box going, the SB7's just hauling ass, and I stopped playing the audio, and I said, "Who was that?" And like a second went by, and the voice come right across the speaker. It said, "That was Zach Baggins." It was like, whoa, dude, that was cool. Just to have him recognize the guy and, you know, spit his name out and remember his name and everything. And that was the same night we had Coyote Chris, this guy.
Yeah.
Him and I were standing outside, off to the, it'd be towards like Amber, where that like little cattle barn is. Yeah. We were standing in that grassy field over there, and Chris was like, "I feel like there might be a hidden cemetery over here." I'm like, "Well, you wouldn't be wrong. I mean, if they were to go, you know, to bury somebody, it'd probably be straight out the back of the building or somewhere around back here for like a pauper's field where they don't have to blow money on headstones or anything like that, because I just don't see them trucking bodies across and down the street where that actual cemetery is over there."
Yeah.
And we were standing over in that field, and it looked like somebody was walking along the highway from like the cemetery back to the manor. I said, "Hey, that's a curve right there. Once you get off the highway, somebody might, you know, come around the curve there and hit you, not have enough time to stop." And within a second, this thing went from about 75 yards away to bam, right in my face like that. And I come up off the ground and like got horizontal and just bam down on the ground. And Chris was like, "Get up, get up, get out of there." And he started chanting something in an Indian language and just pounded on his drum. And like, by the time I stood up, this thing was gone, but it was, I saw it and he saw it at the same time. And that was cool that, you know, at least I had him there to verify that I watched this thing just go wham right into my face. And when it come up into my face, I just remember, like, I had a split second to see that it was like something was there. I couldn't see through it. I remember being able to see all the lights of like the farms and the distant glow of Monticello off in the distance, but I couldn't see through this whatever this thing was in front of me. And the next thing I know, I was like Ricky Bobby. Yep, I'm in the air. This ain't good. And, down in the grass I went, and I have never gone back out to that area after dark since then. I'm like, you know what? I'll just stay in the manor. No, my kidneys hurt. I don't have to go to the bathroom. I'm not going outside. I'll just stay in here. I'm good. Thanks.
Jenny Davis says, I got a spirit saying Zach is an ass at Palmer House through the spirit box. Yeah.
Perhaps.
I'll leave it like I'll just okay. And I'll answer in just a second, Darren. Everybody, if you see what's scrolling at the bottom, if you type in the comments hashtag Ghosts Are People Too, you're entered to. I'm giving away 3 pieces of art. That I asked people if they wanted me to keep doing it, and they said absolutely. So. So I will mine.
Darren with the hot questions.
Yes. As far, this isn't so much as the evidence we caught at this place, but a lot of people don't know about this investigation. It was a private home, and it was a farm. The father had built the farm for the family. They had lived there all their lives, and they were selling it because both were gone now, the father and the mother, but the dad had died under mysterious circumstances, and to this day, it's still, in question. So we became really good friends with these people, and they had 2 huge barns on the property, and it was out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the nearest neighbor was probably 3 miles, 4 miles away. So all 3 of us were there that night, Shane, Chris, and I, and we come in, we talk to the family, and we spent the entire night. Well, some of the stuff they'd started moving around and starting to clean it out because they were selling it. But the first thing is we went out to the barn, and she was telling us that the loft up above us, you can always hear somebody walking around. No more than that, you hear somebody walking back and forth above us, and the hay is falling between the cracks down on top of us. So the boys quickly jump up, crawl up there. There's nobody up there, but we caught all that. And another thing that was cool is after we left a recorder in there, and you could hear a piano playing for over an hour. There's no piano anywhere on the premises, and like I said, the closest person was probably 4 miles away. But the biggest thing that happened that night was we decided to take a break. It was probably about 2:30 in the morning, and Chris and I decided to take a little power nap, and then we get back up and finish up. Well, the father's recliner was in the kitchen. They'd moved stuff in there, and I had all the cameras and stuff up in front of me on the monitor. So I reclined the chair back, which wasn't built for me because my feet hung over probably this far off the end of it. But I was sitting there, and you can believe this or you can't. I was watching the monitors, and all of a sudden, I am this person. And I got the biggest smile on my face. I'm so happy, but I'm this person. And we go on vacation. I'm always wearing this really stupid stupid hat and having a great time. And it was amazing because I didn't know who this gentleman was, but I was being a part of his life at that time. And when I came slowly back, you couldn't rip the smile off my face. It was so awesome and so real. And that really changed a lot of things. But when I came back, it was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Whoop. So much for that power nap.
And what was even better about it is when the evidence and stuff we had the kids, the brother and sister come over, and yeah, the thing was, I didn't know what their dad looked like, never seen a picture of him, nothing. What I described to his kids, they were crying. Because I told them the hat I was wearing, everything, and they said, that's our dad. That was the vacation we took in Florida. This was a time when we went to the Grand Canyon. You know, I had no idea who this gentleman was, and I gave him detail of what happened for that well over 2 hours. And the brother and sister just hugged each other and were crying because, like I said, I knew nothing of their dad, only about his death. Yes, Odd, it was. It was one of the coolest things that ever happened to me. But if that helps.
Would that be almost classified as like accidental remote viewing?
Could be. I mean,
just by the way that,
because I don't.
Or accidental mediumship.
Yeah.
Or the dad came and said.
Yeah, or was it just something with his chair that Rex was able to channel the father just out of the chair? Or
could be.
Or maybe it was remote viewing that it was like, oh, you have a superpower and you'll never see it again. Oh.
But yeah, it was one of the best investigations and one of the last ones with all three of us together, and it was amazing. And to see the brother and sister, that's right, it did. Joy. So, you know, and watch their smiles and them crying because it was their dad, you know, and they're both. The son lives somewhere here in Iowa, and the sister moved to Australia.
Oh, put another shrimp on the Barbie.
Yes. Yeah. So that's it, Darren. It wasn't the best piece of evidence or anything I ever caught. It was just probably the best investigation I ever did. I mean, to this day, I can still, when I think about it, the happiness and how happy I was, and it was just overwhelming. I don't think I stopped smiling for a month after that. So anyway, enough of that.
Didn't you and the boys get to investigate that
the Abley house?
Read my mind. You have a superpower. The Abley house in historic Galena, Illinois.
Yes. We were at the schoolhouse saloon.
Wait, let me pause. All right, for your listeners, the Abley house is like a legend around here. I grew up in extreme eastern or western Illinois, and it was like northwestern Illinois. So this place he's about to tell you about, when we were in high school, it was like this like hush hush like legend place that you drive up at night and park in front of it, and you could see like a lantern going window to window, and I was just getting goosebumps just talking about it just now. But Rex and his boys got to investigate there. We used to park on the street and watch for hours on end.
We, again, another blessed moment. I mean, we were at the Old School Saloon, and Barron, the owner, goes, "Hey, do you want to take a little drive?" So he takes us out, and I mean, it's level B roads to get to it. You have to go through a tunnel, and
he said, "Hey, put these blindfolds on and give me your phones."
Yes. And we get to it, and there's a trestle there, but it's all fenced off. You can't get in.
Yeah, even
but it's all lit up.
Off. Yeah,
it was lit up. So we're standing there, we're taking pictures, and all of a sudden a car's coming. I'm going, because it was Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm going, sheriff's coming. I'll have to go down and explain ourselves here in a second. But no, the car pulls up, and two young men get out of it. And so we walked down because they said, "Can we help you?" And told them who we were, gave them our card, and said, "Hey, is there any chance we could get in and do a short investigation there and interview you guys?" They said, "Well, it's our uncle's place. We're watching it while he's in Chicago. We'll be right back. I'll let you know."
Yeah.
20 minutes passed, 25 minutes passed. And we're going,
they ain't coming back.
They're nixed that one. It ain't going to happen. And all of a sudden, here comes the two younger gentlemen with a dog and said, "Yeah, absolutely. Come on." So we were like, "Ooh, no way." Because there's a documented, murder-suicide there. And it's all documented. So we get there, and the place wasn't built for Nick and I. The staircase had to be about this wide, going up it, and the doorways were short and not very wide. We got to interview them, take hundreds of pictures of the house. We caught some really strange stuff on camera, and it was so surreal because it was on one of our places, top 20 places to get to visit, but it was so hard to track anybody down to actually get into the Abley house.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, we're outside, and Dave, I think you have the picture. It'd be of a house and the figure in the window. Dun, 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 dun.
While he's grabbing that, one of the last times I was there, I was probably 17. And I remember we were just parked on the road, and there was like a Chevy C10 Blazer parked underneath that like Mercury light that was like on the corner of the house. And we were sitting there on the road just looking at it, and one of the doors on the side of the house, it had like a screen door and then a door, and we just saw that door open, and it was black on the inside. We were like, no. I mean, we were booking it to the car and got the hell out of there.
He's got the picture, so we'll bring it up here. I remember it being a bit more authentic than what we're seeing right now. It's double jeopardy. Have you lost it, Dave? You have it? There it is. So, as you can see up in the window there, you see the shadow figure.
Yeah.
And all of us were outside. There's nobody inside. And we were just in that room, and there's a lamp on a table in front of that window, and that figure is blocking it out completely. And we were all outside, including the dog. And there's another great find, and that's the Abley house, and awesome place. But if you guys are going to try to get into it, good luck.
You can't.
It's very difficult, and we got it by chance.
Half the horror
on Halloween.
Yeah, on Halloween. Half
Yeah.
the horror is just the ride out there, because
Yes.
you have to cut through like the old part of Galena. There's red flag number one. Then
Yep.
you watch the old part of Galena disappear, and the trees on each side of the road start to curl over
Yep.
the road like that, and it's like, oh, fuck. And then you get
And
off
then
on
it goes from road to, oh my God, what are we traveling on right now?
yeah, this
And
is
then
someone's
the
driveway.
it was unnerving just to drive up to the house. That's no joke, because it's, it's set up perfectly for the most insane horror movie ever. The drive to it, the setting and everything. I mean, it's a little surreal, but
It could have
we
quickly
got
turned
lucky.
into, in other news, local sheriff and his 2 sons have been missing.
Last seen at the Abley house.
Yeah, last seen crossing the bridge from Dubuque into East Dubuque. Imagine that. They probably got mixed up with the rough crowd of East Dubuque, Illinois.
Oh no.
So yeah, I that was so funny because I knew what you were thinking when you said it. So it was one that we tried and tried and tried, and you couldn't actually get a hold of anybody. If you did, you left a message, never got back to us.
Yeah.
And it's just by fate, being in the right place at the right time.
I'm waiting for the day that I see Rex post, hey everybody, guess what? I got to investigate all of Independence, because that you'd probably be the one to pull it off, even though they're still running it. But
Right.
that
Question for everyone. What's been the weirdest investigation you've done and the weirdest thing that has happened to you? You're up first.
I'd say the weirdest. Man, that's a toughie. So we were doing a residential investigation of a home here, and the homeowner was from Australia, and they swore that this spirit followed them from Australia. So we were in the basement, and we had the SB7 going, and you could hear, hadn't really had anything that was like pointing towards Australia the whole night. And this was actually the last like session of the night that we were going to do, and then we were just going to throw it in the towel. And on the SB7 live, all of us heard a dog barking. Oh, oh, oh. I'm like, what is that, a ghost dog? And in an Australian accent, a dude's voice comes across and says, oh, don't worry about that, mate. It's a dingo.
Wow. That's cool.
That would be my biggest OS experience. Don Corleone.
Well, you had WTF turkey.
Yeah.
Actually,
that was
my biggest oh shit experience would be did you ever go to Viola School when he was still standing in Viola, Iowa?
No, never got to.
Aaron and I were out there one night, and the cops showed up. That's my biggest oh crap experience. we're on the top floor asking questions, and it was all of a sudden you heard like one of the neighbors yell, "Get the F out of there!" Whoa. So we head downstairs to see what's going on, and we walk out the back door of the gymnasium. There's no windows, so we couldn't tell what was going on outside. Fling the door open, and spotlights, and it's just cherries and blueberries going in. I'm like, oh, the cops are here. Well, I'll be. I wonder what they want. But it was a pleasant experience. It just kind of took the wind out of our sails for the night, and we ended up standing there talking to a couple of Lynn County's finest for like the next hour, just about things that we've seen, and
Good night, Hop.
things that they've seen. Rumor is Lynn County jail is pretty exciting. They had told some
That's where I
stories
got
on
my
it.
start, was Lynn County.
Yeah, I'm sure you can relate.
Yes, I can.
Then I also found out, you probably remember it well, but I just found it by looking at maps. But down the road from Viola, I mean, you can take that road pretty much into Cedar Rapids, can't you?
Yep.
Uh, that road meets up with another crossroads, and at that crossroads was the Lynn County Poor Farm. I looked at it on a satellite one day, and it was like, just a little bit smaller than Independence. Then come to find out that they leveled it for a dump, the
Yep.
landfill or something.
The
That's sad.
landfill. Yeah,
So
that
sad.
was sad. Mine, I think it has to be last weekend at, and unfortunately you couldn't be there, but I think you're doing an investigation with us later on this year, aren't you? Yes. That
From
will
what
be fun.
what I've heard, this is going to be the Super Bowl of investigations. Like
You know it.
things go missing, uh, batteries die. So yeah, we better cross our T's and dot our lowercase J's for this one.
Yes. Did an investigation last weekend. AOP was at the Franklin Hotel in Strawberry Point.
Beautiful Strawberry Point, Iowa.
Yeah. Home of the world's largest strawberry.
Yep.
You can see that thing a mile before you get into town. So, at one point, the hotel's got quite a history. It was a brothel at one time, and I stayed in room 7, which was the madam's room, Libby, and it was everybody left. The rest of AOP at 1:30 started packing up, and they all left.
Well, except for I didn't go.
Yeah,
so.
except for Joy didn't get to go because she
Well,
had
we
to.
gotta go. See you later, Rex. Bye.
Good luck.
So they go, "Are you going to go home? Because it's only 20 miles to my house." I'm going, "No, I paid to stay in this hotel. I'm staying.
I paid my money."
So they all took off. I get upstairs. I get ready for bed.
Picture of me laying on their comfy beds.
Yes, you said that to me. They were not built for Nick and I, put it that way.
Not only is the hotel taking a step back in time, the beds have taken a step back in time as well.
Yes. So finally, I get ready. I get into bed, and I'm listening to my music. I don't think they probably liked it. I was listening to Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. And but for some reason, I've started to be able to sleep on my back. So I was asleep, and I was like, "What?" I woke up because I felt somebody running their fingers through my chest hairs, and that's no joke. And of course, I was in Libby's room, and that's where she'd actually passed away. And it was just like, "You've got to be kidding me." So I was so tired. I said, "Libby, you've already been paid your money. If you want to snuggle, that's fine. I need to get some sleep." And I went to sleep.
You see
But,
this, man?
yeah, it was.
I am taken.
That's right. That was probably weird, one of the weirdest, but the one that oh shit moment had to be you talking about the hand that comes over the newel post there. Just before that happened, I got slammed into the wall. And if anybody knows me, and I'm 6'7" and 300 pounds, I was pushed like a child, and I was slammed into the wall. And that was an oh shit moment for me because that was the first time I'd ever been touched. And we were in a female dorm. And I mean, the hands were huge and just leveled me against that wall.
Jenny.
Welcome. I've been waiting for you my whole life.
Welcome to the ladies' ward, brother.
One thing, I'm going to go again here. There's new people that showed up, and remember in the comments, hashtag Ghosts Are People Too. I'll be giving away 3 pieces of art at the end of the show, right there. There we go. So please get it in there. You'll get 3 pieces of my art. They are,
Socks.
Prince.
So they're prints of my original
They're not
work.
socks.
They're not socks. That'll be next week. There's one. There's the second one. And the third one. The first 2 are completely done in dots. I've been doing that lately. The finished was for Alan Cornelson. Wrote the book for the Stagecoach Inn here in Iowa. And he wanted a picture of it. So he sent me a picture. I drew it. First time I had ever drawn a structure in my life. And there was 37 hours it took me to do. The last 7 hours I sat in my drawing chair, didn't move for that 7 hours to finish that picture. There's over 100,000 dots in the picture.
Somewhere in the sky, George Seurat is wiping his eyes right now.
That's right. So
famous painter of Sunday in the Park, which is also all dots.
Yes, it is. Yep. It's something I just started here, I don't know, about 6 months ago, I guess. And it's a lot of time, but the shading and what I can get out of it, it blew me away. And the more I do it, the better I'm getting at it. So anyway, beyond
Inside
that.
of all of us, there's a Jackson Pollock, but it takes real talent to come out and make the dots like Seurat and actually make something beautiful out of it.
And
how's that for dad innuendos of famous painters?
That's right. And Bob Ross hangs his head in shame.
Yeah, what about me? You guys you talk about Jackson Pollock, who just slush paint up against the canvas. And
Darren says, wow, can you say bleach your butt? Yeah, you're right. And I just had my knee replaced in December. And let me tell you, I was a bit stiff when I got up. That knee was like, you shouldn't have sat there that long.
So no more Stone Cold Steve Austin braces?
On the one leg, on my right, that one will be replaced in November. I'll get my, hi, Emily.
That's my wife, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi.
Make sure you get your name in there so you can chance to win 3 pieces of my art.
Hashtag Ghosts Are People Too, babe.
What's the one? Darren's got one here. It says, Rex, if you haven't investigated in Wisconsin, I have a couple places for you. The Wabasha County Historical Museum in Watoma, Wisconsin, and
Broadhead.
The Broadhead.
Broadhead Manor in Broadhead, Wisconsin. They have a Piggly Wiggly up there.
Oh.
They've got one in Prairie du Chien.
Yeah.
When we go there, I go to the Piggly Wiggly.
Hey, Piggly Wiggly. Let's see here. I got a picture to go along with Darren's statement about those places. If I can find it, I gotta.
Okay.
Apparently, I was going the wrong direction. Helps if you know how to work your phone. Here we go. So the Washura County Historical Society in Watoma, Wisconsin. There I am. I'm holding what looks like a steak knife. And allegedly, that knife was taken from Ed Gein's farm.
Really?
They have confirmed 3 weapons there, 3 firearms that were from Ed Gein's farm, as well as his knife. And when I held it, I got this weird pain behind my right eye as soon as I grabbed it, and like held it, took a picture, and then
she started
then Aaron held it, who is the biggest true crime fan out there. That minutes before I'd explained to Aaron who Ed Gein was, and there's a picture of Aaron holding it, who has no idea what he's doing. What the significance of the knife is, but he held it. So yeah, that was at the Washoe County Historical Society. We left there and we started driving back, and the owner of Broadhead Manor got a hold of us and said, "Hey, it's a long ride back to Iowa. We're at Broadhead Manor. It's just 2 hours south. Why don't you come here and spend the night?" All right. That definitely made my wife happy that we were able to crash there for the evening. And not make that 4-hour treacherous drive back through dark southern Wisconsin. So we go to Broadhead, get a tour of the school. It's a 60,000 square foot haunted school.
Oh, man.
That was built in 1906 on top of the former site of the school that was built in 1867. Wow. You can still get into the old foundation through a crawl space in the old machine shop, like the wood shop. There's a hole in the floor, and he's got like 2x6s covering up, but you get down in there, you can see the old limestone foundation from the 1867 school, which is, if you really want to dig into why a haunting's a haunting, it's probably down in that hole. So yeah, we got a tour of the whole school. He's got a mini apartment set up there. So there's 2 beds in there, and he took one, and Aaron and I jumped in the other. And Aaron, of course, was snuggled up to me because it was a crisp 45 degrees in there. I slept like a baby, of course, because we keep our house nice and chilly. But I was trying to fall asleep, and I'm a side sleeper. I'm a all side sleeper. Really, you can even ask Emily. She'll probably type in chat that I'm like trying to sleep with like a hyena. I'm just all over the place. But I'm laying on my right side, and the whole time I'm trying to fall asleep, I just, in my ear, I'm hearing, I mean, it is dead quiet in this room. And Bill, actually, I take that back. Bill had a TV on, and there's no cable there. So he had like a digital antenna. I think an old rerun of like Airwolf was on. I'm like, this place is awesome. Ghosts, Piggly Wiggly, and old reruns of Airwolf. I love it here. But
I just got Emily typed in the hashtag wrong.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh.
He sleeps in a jumping jack position. Hi, Evelyn. So
ghosts are people too. She knows.
Yeah, that's what I was just informed, that she typed it in wrong.
Oh.
So if she can, Emily, if you want to retype that in.
He's giving away a Freddie Mercury.
Never mind. I got it. She fixed it. We're good.
You.
Big Airwolf, Redneck Heaven. There you go.
Okay.
Piggly Wiggly. I just opened the private chat for the people on the show. Did you see Ard's comment about Nick's grandma? What did he say about my grandma?
I missed that.
I missed that. Yeah.
What?
It's going to be back your ways. Oh, there we go.
Well, that's pretty cool.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually have some of her things in this room, so that's kind of hits you right in the heart to know that she's here. I wish she was still here, because I'd want to know which one it was. I mean, there was Grandma Simons and Grandma Schultz. So, but yeah, that's awesome. I actually, I said, choking me up now. Uh, I said that on the show. So on 28 Days Haunted, there's that scene where Aaron and I fight, and they cut to Aaron, and he's crying about our fight, and he really wasn't crying about our fight. They kind of got us all crying individually. We did like one-on-ones with the producer, which, keep in mind, our producer produced like 6 seasons of Intervention, so he was really good at interviewing people. But um, we were just talking one day in the interview, and he's like, "Have you ever lost somebody? Would you bring them back? This and that." And yeah, I got talking about my grandma, and I'd love to bring her back and chat with her, And he's like, "Well, you're this big ghost guy. Why don't you go out and this is really going to be a thinker for everybody." He goes, "You're this big ghost guy. Why don't you go out and just try to talk to yourself with your equipment that you use?" And it's like, I don't know if I want to do that, like somebody that you love, and you want to assume. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. I'm not going to cry. You want to assume that your loved ones have gone somewhere, gone off to a better place, and they aren't going to be trapped, you know, in a dilapidated school or something like that, like what we're all used to going out and looking for, spirits in an asylum or an old fallen in school or an old YMCA. You want to assume that your loved ones have gone on, and I don't know. I'd hope that the feeling is mutual for everybody. I mean, Darren, Rex, Joy. I mean,
yeah,
it just, I don't know if I could do that.
No, I can't. No. Evelyn, it's 2 O's at the end of it. It's ghosts are people too. TOO.
Like also.
yes.
Also, like also.
Yeah, that's what TOO means. Also, too.
So yeah, that would be, yes, it would be hard. I mean, when one of the most active places we ever did was my mom and dad's house. I mean, we identified 13 different ghosts in that house. Didn't matter what time of day you were there, something amazing would happen. But after my dad passed away in the house, I was done. I wouldn't go back and investigate anymore. I was done. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's
that's a tough one. I mean, especially like a parent, like I have both my parents, so I can't relate to that. But like even my grandma's, like, and grandma and grandpa's are like your first best friend. And it's like, and if any of the listeners ever get a chance to corner Rex, he's got some awesome stories about his mom and dad's house. I mean, even when your boys were, both of them have told me stories about being little guys running around there and having wild stuff happen to them. And
there was caught a lot of stuff there. And yeah, I mean, but after dad passed away, I just thought that was end of that chapter,
Yeah.
Not going to go, because like everybody should know, it's, you think that you're talking to your loved ones, but are they really them? Mm-hmm. Is it something else in disguise? That's so
it would be easy.
Yeah. Because you're so vulnerable. So I won't.
Yeah, that could be a part of it too. And I've always kind of tried to eliminate this from anything in my paranormal investigations. But Jeremy, who was on 28 Days Haunted, him and I started a podcast together called Paranormal Gumbo, and it's all pre-recorded. It's never going to be live, and you can go listen to it. And Jeremy has gone off on tangents about demonology, and that's like the number one is you, especially with those, the Ouija board, you don't know who you're talking to. That's why that just sits there. It's decoration. It's decoration only, but you don't know who you're talking to. Even with recording EVP, it might say, "Yeah, I'm Elvis Presley," and it could be something else. I mean, There's in demonology, there is nothing that says that a spirit needs to be honest with you. And that's, I don't get into that. I don't go out looking for darkness or anything like that. I'm going out,
No.
historically speaking, looking just for spirits and weird stuff to happen. There's people that do that. That's your bag. That's your bag, baby, to quote Austin Powers. But that's not for me. I just want to see cool old buildings and hear some history and tell a story.
Absolutely. Since we only got 5 minutes left,
here we go.
Here we go. Not yet. We'll do it.
Oh.
But can you tell everybody where, if they want to find you or see anything you've done, where they can find you, talk to you, see what you've done, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
If you want to find me, I'm in the west end of Davenport. You just come down here. We'll meet at the fairgrounds. You can find me anywhere on the internet at Big Nick Simons. My little name that was popped up right over here in the corner right there, at Big Nick Simons. Yeah, you can follow me by listening to the Paranormal Gumbo podcast. I have a paranormal investigator super page that's got like tens of likes. You can give that a like if you want. Maybe if more people like it, I'll be active more on it, but it's really just my personal Facebook page. I like to get on there and troll people and screw with the neighbors' kids, make fun of them in public Facebook. And if you want to see old baby videos of Nick and Aaron from the early days of our YouTube with no beards on either of us, even though Aaron shaves now. But it's youtube.com/Ghost Crier videos. You can also see there's 3 videos I did with afterlife sessions. I think that's youtube.com/afterlife sessions. You can see us in Crown Point Jail in Crown Point, Indiana. If you ever get the chance to investigate there, it is reasonably priced and is worth the trip. That would be the jail that John Dillinger escaped from back in the 30s before he was gunned down in Chicago. He escaped from this jail, but there's much more spirits there than John Dillinger. Dillinger was only there for maybe a month and a half, so I doubt his ghost will come through to you, but there's way more than that there. Then we investigate the YMCA, and then we top it off with Ashmore Estates. It's worth a watch. Check it out. Haunted YMCA in Rock Island. We had some pretty wild stuff happen there. The lav mics quit. We did an Estes session that we believe the owner of the building came through and was talking to us. And it's worth a watch.
It is. All righty. Here we go. Let's go ahead and do it, Dave. And here we go.
Survey says,
Kathy Arnett. All right.
Congratulations, Kathy.
Just email us at Skydoor Entertainment. You were close, Emily. I will personally autograph them and sign them for you, Kathy. But
Ricky,
Ricky, don't leave me.
Just email us your address and information, and I will get them sent out to you as soon as possible. And
before we go,
congratulations if you like them.
To Nick, you are my one and only. Love, Rex.
There you go. I knew it. I knew it.
It was awesome. So anyway,
saving that for a rainy day.
We're at the end of the show. Thank you so much, Nick. It was a blast. It always is when we're together.
Always.
Laughter is fantastic, and I can't wait for our investigation coming up together. That will be out of this world. I know it will be. It'll be a lot of fun. So, again, thank you very much. I was honored to have you here. It's great seeing you because I don't get to see you as often as I used to.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll change that.
Yeah, we need to do a public event and then not be out there when the guests show up. That way we can all come out of the dark together, and it's just like two guys that are the same size, and it's like, I think we're gonna die. Oh, they're the hosts. Oh.
So, thank you everybody for saying it was a great show. Always have fun on the show, always informational, and to have a good time. If you can't have fun, why not? Why do it? But I end the show as I always do. Peace. Everybody, a hug and a smile doesn't cost a thing. It can make a big difference in somebody's life.
Sorry.
And be safe. And as always, we love you.